Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Marvel's Avengers video, but this time it's a news video rather than me going through the missions in the beta, because there has been a lot of information data mined from the beta, and 15 characters' names have been found next to the code unlock playable character. So that's pretty self-explanatory. We know that these characters that I'm about to name for you, you will be able to unlock through the game. So some could possibly be premium skins, but that is unlikely. They will probably be coming as their own separate heroes, and as promised by Square Enix, they will be free to play as once they're released. So I'm just going to go down the list in alphabetical order. And we start off with Ant-Man, who will not be Scott Lang in this, he will be Hank Pym, because Ant-Man was actually revealed over a year ago, I believe now, just at the end of a story trailer for Avengers. We got a little tease of Ant-Man with a big gun on his shoulder, so we know that he will definitely show up during the story and in the campaign, but we didn't know if or when he was going to become a playable character, and we still don't know when. There is no time scale for any of these characters coming out, but it is fair enough to assume, because they are found in the beta's files, that they will be the first 15 heroes coming to Marvel's Avengers, and it'll be interesting to see how quickly they come out, whether they come out in groups of 5, or if they come out in just groups of 3, or just one at a time. So Hank Pym will be coming to the game, and that is awesome, because we've seen Kamala grow herself into a supersized version, but it will be interesting to play as Ant-Man and be able to do that, but also shrink yourself and other characters down to tiny versions of themselves, so they will take damage much more easily, and they'll basically be a one hit if you can basically step on them while they're tiny little characters on the ground. Next up is probably the most obvious hero to be revealed, and that is Black Panther. We knew he had to be coming to the game purely based on his popularity, and Black Panther will be amazing to play as. It'll be interesting to see if they use his design from the Black Panther film, where he's able to absorb energy into his suit and then explode out using all of that energy at one point, or if they go for a more Civil War costume, which honestly I hope is the case, where it's more functional, and honestly I think it looks like a way cooler suit with a legitimate helmet rather than all of the nanotech. And it doesn't mention it here, but hopefully we could get a Killmonger skin as well, at least for his version of the Black Panther suit, to be a skin that you can earn through the game, because with some of these heroes they're similar to already pre-existing heroes, but Killmonger's a villain, and even though he might show up in a hero mission for Black Panther, you won't expect him to be added to the official roster. So it would make sense for his suit purely to be added as a cosmetic skin, and it would still be Black Panther and T'Challa underneath. Now third up is Captain Marvel, who we knew was at least a character model in the game, because she was found on a poster on Kamala Khan's bedroom wall, and so it was assumed that she would be, alongside Black Panther, one of the first heroes to be announced as post-launch DLC. It will be great to see more flying characters be added into the game, as we currently have Thor and Iron Man, and we've only able to play as Iron Man in the beta, so as the game opens up it'll be great to see more of them, and it'll be interesting to see how they adapt Captain Marvel, because as far as I know, I actually didn't see the Captain Marvel solo film, so all I have is Endgame to go on really from Captain Marvel, and so what I basically know is that she's very, very powerful, and she can fly, and she shoots lasers, so it'll be interesting to see how they make that more unique to her, and give her more powerful attacks as you upgrade the character, because in my head there's only so many different colours or sizes of lasers that you can give someone before it just becomes the same thing again and again but doing more damage. And now we get on to what might be the most interesting hero to be found, because that is Doctor Strange, and that is interesting purely because of how powerful and how crazy Doctor Strange's powers are. It'll be interesting to see if he actually has the Time Stone in the Eye of Agamotto, for him to use that during combat and help out. Maybe if someone needs to be revived, Doctor Strange can have an ability that immediately revives everyone who's down on the battlefield at once, because he can just reverse time and bring them back to their full health selves. That would be a really amazing ability to see for Doctor Strange. Just generally, all of his attacks will look amazing because they can be so creative with it. All you have to do is look at Thanos' fight against Doctor Strange in Infinity War, and you'll see just how much creativity they can put into a Doctor Strange fight. And now we have Falcon, who is actually one of my personal favourites. With The Winter Soldier being one of my favourite films, he is then one of my favourite characters, and the opportunity here to give him his Civil War suit, a Captain America Falcon suit, which would be amazing, and just a classic bright red and white winged falcon. there are 3 amazing skins that you can give him immediately. And again, with a flying character, he'll then have weapons more similar to Natasha to Black Widow, because if you have Captain Marvel flying and shooting lasers, that's a bit more similar to Iron Man. But then you've got Falcon, who flies around shooting legitimate guns, and maybe we can even incorporate Redwing, his little bird fellow, who we get to meet in Civil War. Maybe he can be an ability who helps out, maybe scan the area ahead, or does a bit of damage to enemies more like a drone. Because AIM already have so many drones of their own, it'll be nice for Falcon and for the Avengers to have some up their sleeve. And now we have the first of the extremely similar to pre-existing characters in Kate Bishop, who took up the Hawkeye mantle and is most likely going to play almost exactly the same to Hawkeye. We don't actually know how Hawkeye plays yet, because we know he's the first DLC character to be officially confirmed to be coming to the game, and I believe we'll actually see him in the campaign because he's shown on an image that Kamala finds of all of the Avengers together. So Hawkeye's not going to be found as a brand new character to everyone in the campaign. He's already been a part of the Avengers for a while, and it would make sense for him to show up when the Avengers reassemble. And Kate Bishop is expected to play pretty much the same way. Maybe she has a couple different trick arrows, or maybe her and Clint both have such an amazing array and assortment of weaponry that you can still make them play completely differently, despite them both having a bow and arrow as their main weapon. And now we have Mar-Vell, not Captain Marvel, although he was the original bearer of the name Captain Marvel within the Marvel brand. But no, this Captain Mar-Vell was a member of the Kree, who, if you've only seen the films, is actually the race that Ronan the Accuser is in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But he is also, or she, is also in the Captain Marvel movie, because Mar-Vell is gender swapped and was a Kree scientist who used to live on Earth and worked on harnessing the energy of the Tesseract to help end the Kree-Skrull war. And it'll be very interesting to see which version of the character they go for Marvel's Avengers, because the version in the Captain Marvel film doesn't look quite as fighting capable as Mar-Vell, the male version, who is obviously built like an absolute brick house and looks basically a lot like a blonde Superman. But I guess we'll just have to find out when he's announced officially. And now we have Mockingbird, who honestly I've just had to Google because I did not know who this character was. She is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show, but I just never got into that. And it says here that Mockingbird, or Barbara Morse, was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who used the costumed identity of the Huntress and later Mockingbird to expose corrupt activities of certain S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So if I had to liken her to any character, especially once you see her dual-wielding little staff weapons, it would obviously be Black Widow. So she, just like Kate Bishop to Hawkeye, is very similar to Black Widow. So if you like the playstyle of Black Widow, but someone's already taken her in the matchmaking screen, you could then go, oh, that's alright, I'll go and play as Mockingbird, and I'll play in a similar style, and I'll be able to accomplish the same things. And the fact that they haven't just said, oh, you can have 4 Black Widows on the same team. No, they've actually added Mockingbird to be similar to Black Widow, but not the same. It's quite nice that they're putting a bit more effort in to make them actual new heroes and make it more canonically correct, rather than just going the lazy route and the easy route and just saying, oh no, you can play with as many of each hero as you like. No, they've made actual versions in the game that make a lot more sense. And next up we have Quake, who is the last one who I actually did have to Google, because Quake, or Daisy Johnson, is a secret agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. again, but it says here that she is a genius level hacker and a S.H.I.E.L.D. operative. She grew up as an orphan and then adopted the name Skye, and then Phil Coulson, obviously if you know him from the Avengers film and then also Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Phil Coulson recruited her into his team, and she is played by Chloe Bennett in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I would have known her from seeing her, but I did not know the actual character itself. So another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. character. Maybe she'll play similar to Black Widow, but it didn't seem from her weaponry, like her 2 little staffs, it wasn't that blatantly obvious. So now we've just got a couple of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents who maybe we'll even see her in the future in the campaign, because I have absolutely no idea what direction the campaign's going to go, apart from taking down MODOK. But since Quake is an Inhuman, maybe she was given her Inhuman powers from A-Day, and then MODOK's trying to hunt her down to try and remove her powers from her, and that's how she gets brought into the story with the rest of the Avengers. We don't know yet. And now we have Scarlet Witch, who people have been asking for to be added into the game quite a bit, and for good reason, because she is so powerful. If you've seen Endgame, you can see that she fully stood up to Thanos, and she would have had him beaten if he didn't then rain fire down on everybody from his massive ship. And if I had to compare her to anyone on this list or already in the game, It would probably have to be Doctor Strange, purely because if you see them behind the scenes, they're just doing a lot of hand movements before they CGI cool animations over them. So they are both using what is essentially magic to fight their way through enemies. And I can't wait to see Scarlet Witch added, and hopefully this could mean that we get Quicksilver in the future, who is obviously her brother, and we saw in Age of Ultron and also in the X-Men movies. But the chance of playing as Quicksilver is something that I absolutely would love and I really want to see happen. But Scarlet Witch on her own for now is still amazing because she is so unbelievably powerful, just like She-Hulk, who is the next character to be confirmed. If you didn't know who She-Hulk is, she has been affected by gamma radiation like the Hulk has, but she's able to retain her body and mind. She doesn't go quite as huge and quite as insane as the Hulk does because he is so animalistic and he's basically a beast then, whereas she is still a very strong, powerful, and very smart human. So she will play similarly to Hulk in terms of power level, but she will be a bit smaller, and hopefully she'll still be able to leap as high a distance as the Hulk can. And now we have Vision. It will be amazing to see Vision be given Thor's hammer to use in the game, but that is extremely unlikely. Hopefully we'll also get to see him phase through objects. If he could just go straight through walls, it would be a serious problem for the developers who have made thin aim corridors for everyone to travel through. If Vision can then just go outside the map, that might cause problems for them, but maybe at least for holding B, where you make Iron Man or Captain America or Black Widow vault over shielded enemies, maybe Vision can just phase right through them, so at least you incorporate his powers into some of the more simple animations, rather than making it so that he could phase through literally any surface he wishes. Next up, and I think we all saw this coming, is War Machine, because obviously he's going to play just like Iron Man, except for the turret on his shoulder. He will basically have the same moves as Iron Man, he will just have a different paint job. And if you've seen the Marvel's Avengers beta, Iron Man actually has a paint job that is very similar to War Machine already, so all I can say is that hopefully War Machine gets an Iron Patriot costume as well. That would be amazing to see. And there really isn't much to say about him, because he is basically Iron Man 2. And as I mentioned Ant-Man earlier and Hank Pym, we've also got Wasp in this list, who similarly to Hank Pym can shrink herself. I'm not sure I've seen her grow herself, at least not in the MCU yet, but she can definitely shrink herself as well, and she can fly, and she can fire bursts of energy. So Wasp will be an amazing character to see, and I can't wait to see how they add in the shrinking technology into the game and into the world. And finally, we get onto the last character, and this is one of the characters who I really wanted to see added to the game, but because I couldn't see him playing too crazily different to already established characters, I didn't get my hopes up. But it seems that the Winter Soldier will be added into the game. Bucky Barnes and his metal arm will be coming to Marvel's Avengers, and I absolutely cannot wait for that. As far as weapons go, maybe he'll be able to catch Captain America's shield out of the air and use it as like a one-off thing for himself, but his main weaponry, like Black Widow, is guns and melee attacks, and I assume his way of traversal will be, like Captain America's, will purely be parkour. He can't fly, he can't grapple, but he can flip and he can swing around to at least up his movement. And hopefully we get a Captain America skin for him, as well as hopefully we'll get one for Falcon. And that is every hero that has been data mined from the Marvel's Avengers beta. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as I'm recording this, there will already have been a tease out for Gotham Knights, Warner Brothers Montreal's game, but we know that their real proper showing will be at DC Fandom, and because I'll be at work when this first tease comes out, I won't be able to cover it on this channel. But there was also an IGN article that I only saw the title of, but it mentioned that there would be teases leading up to Friday, where it would be the culmination of the teases, and then Saturday would be DC Fandom, where they'd hit you with the full reveal trailer. So hopefully that is the case, and I'm not going to miss out on too much information getting to you guys, but I'll do my best all the same. So leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Thank you for watching this one, and hopefully I will see you next time.